Today, the Emotion Code Divas are on episode 88, and we're going to be talking about missing loved ones because I'm sure we have some viewers out there that may be finding the holidays a bit of a difficult time. You might be missing someone that maybe has passed, transitioned, or maybe someone that, perhaps someone that even has Alzheimer's or dementia or something like that, and you're not getting the same connections that you used to during the holidays, or maybe you have someone that you're not able to be physically together this year. So what happens when you're missing someone is there are a lot of emotions, negative emotions that come up and that are trapped. And this is what's so beautiful about the emotion code that Dr. Bradley Nelson trained, his program trained both Helene and I. This is the new emotion code book. It's great. What we thought we would do is go over some of the 10 most common trapped emotions that Helena and I have found when we've been working with people. So we're going to jump right in. My name's Dana Smithers. I'm a certified emotion code practitioner. And Helena, introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Helena Jenikin. I'm a certified emotion code practitioner as well. I'm also a certified clinical hypnotherapist. And I find the emotion code that when I've added it to my hypnotherapy practice, it's just really helped a lot. It's a wonderful process.
Right, exactly. So we're going to dive right in. So we're going to give you the 10 most common. And if you've got the book, it's page 308. And certainly the most common one is grief. And I actually posted a special episode that I had done. I posted in the Divas page with a grief coach and celebrant, Deborah Harney-Gregor. And you can look at it. It's posted. She really does have a lot of good advice about, if someone has passed and someone's trying to tell you to get over it or celebrate the holidays, everybody does, and you'll feel better when you do. That's not always the case. I know for myself, and also Helene and I have had this conversation, there have been some holidays, especially Christmas, that we just didn't celebrate. And for various reasons, and that's perfectly fine. So if that's where you're at right now, that's fine. If you feel like you need a little bit of help to release some of these emotions, connect with us then. So grief and guilt are two of the most, particularly if you've lost someone. So grief is suffering due to a loss of a loved one, death of a dream, disaster, misfortune, and so on. A universal reaction to bereavement. So everybody feels that way. And it can also arise from unmet expectations. So perhaps you're someone that's just broken up with someone, or someone's just broken up with you. You could be feeling like, wow, I just feel so awful. Well, we're sorry that you feel that way, but know that that's not an uncommon feeling that you have, and it is a trapped emotion. So along with grief, I wanted to talk about guilt. So guilt is the feeling of having done wrong or committing an offense. Taking responsibility for the harmful actions of another. Example, abuse, parents' divorce, death, situations like that. It's often accompanied by feelings of depression, shame, and self-abuse. So know that these are common things, that if you're feeling these, it's perfectly human and it's perfectly natural. Helena, what do we have next that comes up quite often?
It's the trapped emotion of abandonment. Now, there's two types of abandonment. There's physical abandonment and emotional abandonment. Now, the physical abandonment is having been left alone, left behind, or deserted. The baby felt abandoned when her mother left her at daycare. And we know about
I know I talk a lot about, I do that inner child. Yeah. I think I've done a few videos on that, where that feeling from childhood, especially during the holidays, can still be there as well around abandonment. So that's a great one.
Yeah. Now the emotional abandonment is having been given up on, withdrawn from, or separated from, or emotionally deserted. It's a feeling of being left behind in a non-physical form. This can also apply to financial abandonment. Here's the example that Dr. Brad gives. She felt abandoned by him when he wouldn't talk to her about their marital troubles. Or the college student felt abandoned when his parents stopped paying for his tuition.
And as far as over the holidays going, it could just be that you just feel abandoned. Maybe someone's left you, or as I said, it might be an earlier emotion. So another common trapped emotion is the trapped emotion of betrayal. So to feel betrayed is to have your trust broken or to be deserted or hurt by a trusted person. Or it could be betrayal of another, is to be unfaithful in guarding or fulfilling a trust, to be disloyal or violate a confidence, to desert someone who trusts you. So that's a really strong one as well, Helena.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's our next emotion there, Dana?
Sadness.
Sadness. Oh, sadness. Unhappy, sorrowful, mournful, affected by grief. Kind of sums it up.
Yeah, and often, because I'm a law of attraction trainer as well, I let people know that you have a vibrational bubble. So if you're going to be sad, it's perfectly fine. Be by yourself. But if you find that you're with people, a lot of people that are really, really, really sad, then you need to put that white light around yourself to protect yourself, because those vibrations actually can enter your vibrational bubble, especially if you're feeling vulnerable. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the next trapped emotion I'm going to talk about is this one of blaming.
Mm-hmm.
So you could be blaming someone for this or that, or you might be someone that's just gotten divorced. I know a family that's just divorced and they're trying to figure out who's going to have who, which kids on which day, and not a blaming, well, if you hadn't done this, then this wouldn't have happened. So blaming is a big one. It's to be being blamed is to be held responsible for or accused of or found guilty for something. It could be actual guilt or not. And then if you're blaming another person, is to hold responsible another person, to accuse them, to find fault with, or to put responsibility on someone or something else, to avoid taking responsibility for yourself. Blaming is just one of those that at some point when you get over the anger and you can own your responsibility in the relationship or whatever is going on, then you're going to move into a whole other zone of positive energy. But while you're still blaming someone, you're not owning what you're responsible for in your life. Yeah. So blaming. So Helena, let's take a look at heartache. That's a big one.
Yeah, heartache. Heartache, anguish and pain of the heart, distress, and usually a result of difficulty or sadness in a relationship. Felt a crushing or burning physical sensation in the chest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, we do lots of episodes and we do a lot of work on the heart wall. I've also posted some on the Emotion Code Divas page, some episodes with, I was on Michael Lozier's show and he had Dr. Brad on. And Dr. Brad talked about heartache. And so, that's a very, very real thing and something that definitely can come up during the holidays or when you're missing a loved one. So the next one I'm going to talk about is longing. So longing for things to be different. So to miss someone or something, a yearning, a pining, or an aching, to have a strong desire or craving to want something you do not have. I just have noticed in our family that things are changing because there are children and there are parents that are no longer wanting to put on the traditional Christmas meal. So they're going out to a restaurant. So that can be longing for, hey, what about that Christmas we used to have? Opening the presents in the morning, or maybe you're a newly married couple and you've got to decide, whose house do you go to? So there's that longing of, oh, I just wish I hadn't, or didn't have to go here or whatever. And so the next one is shock.
Mm.
You can be feeling shocked. You're missing a loved one, especially I'd say for me and my family, my father passed in December, as did one of my cats. And it was a shock in both situations. So it was I'm feeling very vulnerable anyway, and then it's Christmas, and of course, missing dad and all of that. And I even remember the first Christmas, um, it was a family Christmas, and I actually set my father's place at the table. I put the silver out and, the nice dishes that mom used, right, at Christmas. And my mom walked in and she said, "Who's that for?" And I said, "Oh." It was such an automatic thing to do. I said, "Well, we'll just pretend dad's here." It's like, I totally forgot. I was just so used to doing it, right, for family Christmases. So, shock.
Yeah, shock. The definition is a sudden or violent disturbance of the emotions or sensibilities, extreme surprise, or a feeling of being traumatized or stunned.
Yeah. So it definitely was, and in my case with my father, it was a heart attack. So that was, just something that happened. And the last one, emotion, these are not all, these are just the 10 that are the most common, but it's lost. So just feeling lost, right? Especially, as I say, if it's a routine that you're used to taking part in, or it's something you've done every year for, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, 60 years even, right? So lost, unable to see the correct or acceptable course, having no direction. Or you can feel physically lost, you can feel emotionally lost. When you're emotionally lost, refers to a feeling of being unable to see the right decision or direction, being unable to find emotional stability. And the example Dr. Brad gives here on page 309 is he felt lost after his wife died. So those are feelings that are going to come up. So as we said, if you have any of those feelings, or you feel that you need to have an emotion coach session, Helena, how can people get a hold of you?
Oh, people get a hold of me through this Facebook page or my website, which is flourishhypnosis.com / emotion code, and on YouTube and Facebook.
Great. All right. And you can find me at danasmithers.com, emotion-code. I also like working with animals. Animals can have some of these very same emotions. Um, yes, I volunteer work at the SPCA, so we get a lot of animals that have been surrendered, and it's a very tough time for them. So I like to go in and do some emotion code sessions for them, and also a bit of Reiki. So that's our show for today. Next week's show is December 25th, so it's our Christmas show, and we're actually going to be talking about mindful eating, which we hope that will be useful to you as you go through the holidays and also moving into the new year. So that's it for now. So bye from the Divas.